Oh, I'm not on it.
Okay, you're live.
I'm not on it.
You guys are
Yeah.
I'm so old.
All right. I think it's like the honorable judge starts presiding.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to determine the fate of the Mongols. They're being charged with being uncivilized conquerors and ineffective administrators of their empire. Over the course of the next 4 days, we'll hear from the attorneys their opening arguments. We'll hear the prosecution and the defense call their witnesses to the stand. We'll ultimately hear their closing arguments. Jurors, your task is to analyze and listen to the remarks that are presented, weigh the facts, and ultimately decide whether they're guilty or not guilty of these crimes that they're being charged with. As we walk through this trial, there's a couple things. Obviously, note that we are live for the world. Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube!
So we are live. Additionally, we have our microphone for our witness stand. The bailiff will swear in our witnesses. So the bailiff will simply say, "Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" The witness will say, "I do," and then they will be seated. So they will have their microphone here. The attorneys, you guys will share this microphone. You just simply wear it around yourself, so that way you can talk. Okay, so just kind of turn it off, but that way everybody on there can hear as well. With that in mind, today we will hear our opening arguments, and then we'll hear from our first witness. Prosecution, you're going to get to go first. So if our prosecution attorney will please come forward. I'll give you this. Do a mic check. And just let it there. Just let me just talk.
Hi.
No, let it there. Don't, because I don't want to just say something.
Something.
Okay, can you guys do that? Okay. Yeah, good job. Okay, so you're going to be able to address the jury. So just as you've done, I would encourage you to come out in front of the jury. This is your kind of one in, I guess you get 2 chances to address the jury here. You're going to have a maximum of 4 minutes to address the jury. I now turn the floor over to Attorney Paul.
The Mongols were a barbaric empire that took over Eurasia. They had harsh military strategies that left towns and cities in ashes. If one person betrayed their army, they killed their whole They killed the whole squadron. They also killed the innocent and the senators. In the sack of Baghdad had surrendered, but the Mongols still burned down the city and killed over 90,000 people. Later, the Mongols boasted that they had killed over 2 million in siege. This shows how barbaric the Mongols were. The Mongols affected many people, including the witnesses that we have here today. Prince Mustalov was killed by the Mongols in one of the most brutal ways possible. Judas was sold as a slave by the Mongols and later rose to power and became one of the first to defeat the Mongols in battle. Pope Innocent IV found that his people in Europe were being negatively affected by the Mongols' actions and attempted to calm them down and convert them to Catholicism so that they would see that what they were doing wasn't in the name of God. Mustassin was the leader of the city that was burned to the ground by the Mongols because they disagreed with their actions. All of these people are just 4 of the many that believe that the Mongols are guilty of all charges. Genghis Khan was also barbaric in the military strategies he used. This included using human shields to protect. Additionally, the empire Genghis Khan founded wasn't maintained for a very long time. Overall, the Mongols were extremely aggressive in their actions, which made them come across as very uncivilized. Burning the fat off people's dead bodies, chopping their heads off, and many other things. As well as that, they didn't maintain their power and instead they built so viciously. After listening to today's evidence, we are confident that you will find the Mongols guilty of all charges.
So we will now hear from the defense. They're going to present their opening arguments. At the conclusion of this, then I'll allow the jury to deliberate and have a quick conversation evaluating the opening arguments that were presented. So, at this time, I'll turn the floor over to the defense. You may present your opening argument.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Aaron Rogers, and along with my colleagues Sam Witt, Alice Hazelwood, and Hugh Saul, we will be defending our client, the Mongol Empire. The defendant stands here today wrongly accused of ineffective administration and uncivilized conquering, a very serious offense. At the end of this trial, we will expect you to render the verdict not guilty, given it's the only appropriate verdict in this case. Members of the jury, one of our defense attorneys, me and my colleagues will prove that the Mongols were not uncivilized conquerors because compared to other empires of the time, they were not barbaric in their actions. For example, our first witness will be Ivan I. He will testify about how the Mongols had a great relationship and prove that the Mongols were not barbaric. Our second witness we will call up to the stand is Marco Polo. He will testify that the Mongols were not barbaric because of their generous hospitality. Secondly, we will prove that the Mongols were not ineffective administrators because of their leaders, were very effective and efficient at organizing their empires without rebuttal. For example, our third witness, Kublai Khan, will testify that the Mongols were very effective within their administration and how they were able to administer changes. Lastly, we will call Chinggis Khan to the stand. He will testify about how the Mongol Empire was very efficient within themselves, proving that the Mongols had a very effective administration. At the conclusion of the trial, the defense will request that you find our client is not guilty of all charges. The prosecution will not meet the burden of proof. The verdict of guilty would be a travesty. Thank you, Your Honor, as well as the jury. Me and my colleagues profoundly appreciate you giving me time.
All right, I'll take that. And you guys, jury, go ahead and take a second, turn to your shoulder partner, have a conversation. Witnesses and attorneys, you guys can check in as well. How would you evaluate the opening argument? Ready?
Who do you think had it? So you say what facts like
Well, I don't want to be sure that you know like a lot of things for everybody. What I'm saying,
attorneys, do you guys kind of see the approach that they're trying to take for this trial?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you guys kind of aware of what they're trying to prove. Witnesses, you guys need to do the trial analysis. You can should also serve as attorney researchers for your attorney. If you hear something, make sure you say something, make sure you're helping out your attorney, give them ideas, right? That is what you
I don't know, you have a lot of information about
Make sure in that analysis. And I can see the case starting to lay out. How do they layer that in? All right, at this time, we will move into the prosecution calling their first witnesses. So again, attorneys, I did give you guys a copy of the attorney handbook just for your reference as well. So then you guys know exactly how to call witnesses and that sort of thing. So I will turn first to the prosecution. Will you please call your first witness?
The prosecution calls Pope innocent of what
Who's going to be questioning, by the way? Take this.
from there. Felix, you're gonna swear them in.
Have the Pope raise their right hand.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do.
You may be seated. Will you please make sure that the microphone is turned on for me?
Check. Hello?
One more time.
Hello?
There you go. Alright, so try and talk into the microphone as naturally as you can. Don't make it like awkward, but just try and talk it so they can pick you up on the microphone. Please state your name for the trial.
My name is Pope Innocent Force, and I'm here today.
Well, just your name, sorry. A reminder that in your attorney handbooks, there are the objections. So you guys can flip through and look at what objections you might call into. I may object, not that I should, but I may object at times just to kind of help the trial flow initially. Hopefully you guys start to get the feel. Okay, direct examination, you have 2 to 3 minutes. I open the floor to your questions.
Okay, so Lorraine, I'm Pope Innocent Force. What do you do as Pope? I was leader of the football state, and I was also the head of the Catholic Church. Why have you been called here as a witness? I have been called here as a witness because I was the first patient. I was invited to testify because I made multiple attempts to amend the Mongols' resistance. How do you feel about the Mongols' actions? The Mongol conquest.
Objection. You guys gonna object?
Yeah.
Okay, why? Can you restate the question for me? So, how do you feel about the Mongols?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is that true? Right, that's what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, why would you object to that?
Objection is a leading question.
Not leading?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge or speculation.
There you go. Okay, so you're asking for speculation. So just establish some more foundation about the relationship with the Pope and the Mongols, and then I would allow some speculation to happen if I have the foundation that says, okay, this person actually has profound knowledge about the Mongols.
Did you ever come into direct contact with the Mongols? Personally, I did not ever come in direct contact, but I did send multiple messengers to deliver messages about why they should stop their conquest. So what makes you a reliable source? I'm a reliable source because I have lived many years and I have never I've never become very violent. Okay. What led you to believe that the Mongols were going against your beliefs? The Mongols were very violent in their exploration, and when exploring Europe and expanding, they murdered multiple cities with no mercy, and they have very strict laws that go against their own views and views of other nations. Did you do anything?
I may have objected there. I felt like the witness wasn't answering the question and kind of was providing narrative. So I might say call for narrative, objection, call for narrative. And in which case I would remind the witness just to answer the questions that are asked and to stick to the facts. Again, once you establish that foundation, then I can grant a little bit more leeway. Okay, you have some knowledge of them. You mentioned that you sent people to the Mongol courts, correct?
Yeah.
Who did you send?
Well, I sent multiple people, but the first, I am not quite sure of his name. It was a long time ago, but his name is Carpini, and he delivered
Okay, so remember, you answered just the question that is asked. deep breath. You're doing great, by the way. It's really hard to be a witness because you're like, ah! So John Carpini, I believe, was sent. In what year was that? Roughly.
The
1280s?
I think.
Okay, all right. I was thinking it was a little bit earlier than that, but I'd have to look, but that's fine. So again, we're just trying to establish that foundation for our journey. So the Mongols were expanding, westward. Yeah, westward. Thank you. Mongols were expanding westward. So then you sent somebody to the Mongol courts to intervene on your behalf.
Yes.
Okay. So then once we've established that foundation, then I may ask, like, why did you send somebody to the Mongol courts? So that way we can understand what's going on from their perspective. Now, yeah. Oh, pardon, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so why did you send somebody?
I felt that they were very violent, and I viewed their conquest with misgiving, because I felt that if they were to continue their conquest, a lot of people would die unnecessarily.
Did you take any other sort of actions?
Other than the letters and the messengers.
What did the letter discuss that you sent?
The letter that I sent was called Conam Solum, which is Latin for can watch the sunrise. It discussed how their Mongols, how their conquest was very unmerciful, and how they needed to stop targeting Christians and people.
Objective? Like narrative?
Yeah, so again, make it more conversational, just answer the question, and then if Attorney Fong would like a little bit more, she can simply ask you to elaborate. Mention this, could you elaborate on that? Or what else did the letter say? So instead of just sharing like a paragraph, you can just share like a quick excerpt, and then she can ask a follow-up question. That makes sense? Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you stand when you object, so I can see where it's coming from. Okay.
So, you mentioned that you were discussing with the Mongols that they had been targeting Christians. In what way were they doing that?
Throughout their conflict in Europe, they were targeting multiple cities, including places in Russia and Nepal. So they were targeting, not necessarily intentional, but they did.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that the way that you got information about the Mongols was you sent many people to communicate with them?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to submit Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm.
Document 2 from how I read the Mongols.
So if the juror was on Canvas, you can find that document under modules, and you said document what?
2.
Document 2. And that document is which document?
It's the thing written by one of the cartoons. I don't remember what his first name was.
I believe
But it's in like
John.
I think it was John.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in like a really fancy font.
Yep. Okay. All right, is there a certain excerpt from that you'd like us to look at?
In the second paragraph, it discusses what Carpini had found out about the Mongols.
Would you like the Pope to read that, or
Yeah.
did you want to read that to us? You can have the Pope read it? Absolutely, please. And obviously, we've gone much over on time, right? Just kidding. But I'm granting some allowances since it's our first witness, just to get into it. They have it on their screen that they can read. You got it?
Yeah. The second paragraph.
And again, attorneys, when you work with your witnesses, just have this in their documents, that way they've got it right there, so now they can just read it straight off of that, just to make it more efficient. Or you can just put it on yours and hand it to them, or print it off and then have them read it, whatever makes it.
So, in document 2, second paragraph, it states, when they are in battle, if 1 or 2 or 3 or even more out of a group of 10 run away, all are put to death. And if a whole group of 10 flees, the rest of the group of 100 are all put to death if they do not flee too. In a word, unless they retreat in a body, all who take flight are put to death. Likewise, if 1 or 2 or more go forward boldly to fight, then the rest of the 10 are put to death if they do not follow. And if 1 or more of the 10 are captured, their companions are put to death if they do not rescue them.
This evidence shows that Pope Innocent IV sent people to gain information on the Mongols to attempt to overthrow them, or calm them down. It also makes it evident that the Mongols were so aggressive that even if 10 people in their army were to betray or abandon the group, the group of 100 was sentenced. That's like
I would object. So you guys would want to object because the attorney is addressing the jury. If anything that.
You didn't say that. I feel like I just said that because it's somewhere in there.
That was for cross.
Was that for property elimination? I might
Yeah,
have
if you find it, let me know, but,
I may have read that wrong.
no, it's okay, and I'll double check that, but ultimately ask the witness, what is this showing, what does this say? So that way we allow them to share what they do. And again, I would grant you a little bit of leeway to address the jury, but if you're kind of getting into almost like an opening statement of like, look, it's doing all this, smart, by the way, but technically, no. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, final comment?
Can you explain what this document discusses in?
So better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what the document 2, it expresses how, if 1 or 2 people in a group in the army of the Mongolians were to flee, then all of them were to be put to death, which is all of them would be executed. If 10 people in a group of 100 were to flee, then narrative.
I'll allow it. She's trying to summarize. It's fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. Again, I'm gonna allow it, but we just need to wrap it up.
10 would, then if 10 were to flee, then 90 would die.
So you say no further questions.
No further questions?
Okay, if you'll hand off the microphone to the defense. Nope, you have to stay. This is the hard part now. Another cross-examination. Who's cross-examining? Attorney Supp, you have the floor. You have about 2 minutes to cross-examine the witness. Now you just wasted 15 seconds.
Okay, so, while you're there,
No, I've already been asked and answered.
what was your relationship with the Mongol Trial?
I used their,
You're objecting? Asked and answered, correct?
Objection one of personal knowledge or speculation.
So I would just say objection, asked and answered, that has already been established by Attorney Fong, correct? You already established a relationship with the Mongols? Okay. In cross-examination, don't ask open-ended questions, ask closed questions, right? Did you or did you not, blank. Yes or no, blank. So try and get them to give you a short, specific answer. What is it that you're trying to get out of them? Get them to say that and then get out. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, try again.
Okay, did you have any, grudges against the Mongols?
not personal.
Did they do anything against your beliefs that were religious?
Yes, they did, their conquest in Europe was very, against mine.
Objections asked and answered. I asked her that exact question.
Alright, so again, make sure you're building off that. So then you said, and again, while they're going, you guys make notes of like, oh, this was said. So then I would just read it off. That in your testimony, you said blah, blah, blah. Is that correct? Alright, but doesn't that mean this? And then try and use their own words against them. Because they've already established this. Can someone let David in? They've already established this, then try and think through how to ask that follow-up question off of what they've already stated.
So, I'm gonna get my red card.
You're good. I know, this is why I only do one witness on the first day, because it's for that. Okay? Do you need to talk with your attorneys for a second?
Yeah.
Alright, jurors go ahead and talk with each other. Go. Ready?
I don't know what the Mongols did in the day. You're establishing like,
Worst case is are you guys trying to get to the so we went like 20 minutes. So when you get through. We'll do that tomorrow. Here we go. Attorney Saab, you have the floor.
So earlier when Attorney Sam was up here, she claimed that you sent a messenger in there because why?
Don't ask open-ended. Make it closed. I'm just trying to help you. I mean, you can ask open-ended, but she's gonna explain it away. Alright? So try and figure out how to make it close. Alright, y'all, we got so much to do! Sure, go ahead.